And what led to that?
Well, this was more so like in the early crypto days. So, being new to the environment and, I guess I was more so in that euphoric state, of course, looking back, just holding and holding, when crypto first boomed to the first 20K. And he's like, oh, this is going to 100K no time in no time. And, just being in that euphoric, newbie trading state to where you kind of think you know everything. And every time you touch something, it turns to gold. So, just kind of in that early stages of, just not pretty much not updating my stop loss and taking profits as soon as I should have, things like that.
Yeah, so I pretty much did the same. That was probably my second loss. So at the high, I think I had like a portfolio of like 20,000. And mind you, I was in college. So I'm lit as hell. I'm like, oh man, they don't know nothing about this. They don't know nothing about this. And then I hodled to like 4,000. Oh, I was selling like partials, but like emotionally selling. Like, man, I need to like buy something, or like I needed the money, so I just was like selling it, but it would be hard to sell it because I had so much emotion side to it. So sure, I sold down the way, but my end result was like 4,000. So you can kind of say like $15,000 was lost just off of HODL, because I treated crypto like an investment where you're supposed to hold on to, because it's supposed to continue to go up. But if it goes down, it turns into a trade. If it's that volatile, it needs to be a trade. So I honestly could have just kind of took the loss maybe at 15,000, 14,000. But I was looking up Reddit, looking at all the little subreddits of my coins, and they're saying, well, good news is coming, good news is coming. I'm over here just like, oh yeah, we good, we gonna be good. Like someone gonna stop.
Just hold a
Ain't I
little
ain't
longer.
just hold on a little longer. Ain't nobody looking at charts. Ain't if I would have saw them big bearish candles, big weekly, like 15%, 20% down, dailies looking like gap downs. Like it was definitely a lot to go on with that. So thank you for being transparent with that. What about your biggest win?
I would probably say my biggest win was about, I would say probably about 100K. In the early, well, in the kind of middle crypto days, in the middle crypto days, switching over to the options days, kind of playing around with leverage trading and things like that.
Okay, and then thank you for that. And how did you kind of balance out your emotions between your biggest loss and your biggest win? And what do you do now to kind of keep yourself level?
Well, it's one of those things where you kind of, you just gotta just write down everything, write down your emotions, how you feel in specific scenarios, and pretty much what I do now is I write down how I feel in specific scenarios or at specific times, so I kind of have it as a reference point. And pretty much anytime I feel like some type of way that's outside of trading or outside of that's pretty much emotion based, I'll take a look at my document and say like, okay, I'm having a red day, and I'm feeling like this. So I just have little personal notes for myself there. And if I'm having like a euphoric day, like typically what should I do here? Like, okay, I'm up a whole lot, so I may be feeling euphoric. So typically what has worked out for me when I've took X actions, or like things like that, like, oh, should I move my stop up, or should I take off some shares, or or if I'm having a big loss day, I'm like, okay, it's just one trade, it's only 1%, or it's only 2%, and you can easily make that back on the next trade, but don't let it prevent you from taking the next trade, and not trading your P&L, and things like that.
Yeah, I would say one of my worst trades was losing on some Tesla calls. So it was, I got greedy. I had already made a big bag in the summertime on Tesla, so I was just riding euphoria. Then I think I still didn't know a lot about the stock market, even though I made a lot of money. And that's what happens is you can just the market can give you a ton, and then you actually are getting it with being uneducated. So I had went heavy on some calls, but they had an offering, and at that point I didn't even know what offerings were. So I had
Right.
bought the calls on the day of an offering when they announced it.
Oh.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy! I'll let y'all know that it was well over $10,000 loss. Like well over. So I had to take a month off just to kind of decompress, digest, and kind of learn about offerings. So basically, I had the crypto scar, right? Then I now have the offering scar. So I like, if I hear an offering, I'm like running up.
Yeah.
If anything, I'm trying to short it or what. But then the thing is, whenever it's not on my trades, it goes up. So I just offerings are like something that is like a double edged sword, and
Mm-hmm.
it'll gap down, and then people will buy it back because they see value in that gap down. But other times it cannot. So I ain't even gonna lie. I only bought 5 shares, right? 5 shares of the Viacom offering, and I'm like, oh okay, offering dip. I mean the you know what Viacoms is?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So the CBS, they got the streaming service. They've been mooning, and then they pulling back, and they had an offering, and they moved to the offering price of like 85. So I'm like, bet I bought 5 shares pre-market, and mind you, I'm just going to work, now full time, so not trading like at all for real, beside crypto, and then I see it at like 70. I'm like, I sell it for like a $85 loss, like. What really happened? I mean,
What
from 85
happened?
to 70 same day, and
Right.
and then it started like keep falling and falling, and I think it's now around 40. Come to find out, that man didn't even have any type of risk management. I forget the guy's name. He's an Asian asset manager, but he was like 33 times leverage, man.
Mm.
33 times leverage on all of his stocks. I mean, it
Mm.
affected Baidu, it affected CBS, I think Discovery as well. Like that man was I think he had made like 10 billion. Like he really was coming up. But as
Right.
soon as he had got margin called, wrecked.
Right. Yeah.
So going into risk management, what is like how important is risk management to you, and how important should risk management be to the viewers?
For me, that's the most important part of trading. That and the psychology aspect of it. I mean, you pretty much once you run out of capital, you basically out of business. So you gotta, always keep enough capital on the table to where you can make sure you can always trade and continue to trade, and not get knocked out of the game, because you can take as many losses as you allow yourself to take. But if you start putting, too much on one trade, 10-20% on one trade, and you wiping your account out, I mean, how do you expect to continue to play the game? Because after 2 to 3 losses, you've lost more than 50% of your portfolio. So the main thing is just, risk management, so you can stay in the game and continue to play and give yourself time to get those big hitters.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for that, man. It's so important just to stay in the game and see something like a unicorn happen, like the Tesla stock split, or hopefully an Amazon stock split, or getting added to the S&P 500. Those moves will change your life, seriously. So please, y'all, stay in the game. I didn't want to take up too much of your time, Gamma. Do you have any last things to say?
Well, just remember that this is a long-term game, and don't focus on the short-term profits, and just getting your plan together, making sure you focus on your emotions, keeping your emotions in check, because it can be a very stressful business. And do as much as you can to pretty much decrease the amount that you have to think about, and make it as robotic and straightforward as possible.
Thank you, Gamma. Thank you for that. I really appreciate this interview. And honestly, depending on the response, we may actually have monthly calls in regards to certain topics. It be modern news, or it be your trades that you previously did, um, response from topics that the viewers want to watch. So this really could be something that turns into like a monthly thing. Just goes to show if we can get that response, you know. So again, thank y'all for tuning in. This was Gamma and myself on trading and just kind of getting that real heart-to-heart talk on trading and maybe inspire some of the viewers to trade themselves. But please manage risk. Just continue to read up on your news and whatnot, and we'll see y'all on the next one. Appreciate y'all.
All right, thanks for having me. Bye.